1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Coverage you can count on. You're watching WTVN News Leader 9. Sponsored by Montlick & Associates, Columbus Injury Attorneys.
Breaking news happening right now on the Chattahoochee River, where rescue teams are searching for a missing man. Thanks so much for joining us tonight for News Leader 9 at 5. We're going to send you right out to the river now. This is a scene at the River Walk where parts have been blocked off while first responders continue to search the water for this missing man. News Leader 9's Jose Zozai is on the scene right now. And Jose, what are police and witnesses telling us about this person that they're searching for at this time?
Barbara, we have confirmed with Columbus Police that they are in fact looking for one man who is missing. Initial reports indicate that the man could have been swimming at around 3 this afternoon and that he was last seen over by the rapids. That's near the 13th Street Bridge. We have not been able to identify the man or what he was wearing or what he looked like. We're still waiting on confirmation from emergency officials on that. But I can tell you, Barbara, that search crews, dive crews, they've been out here on the water for at least an hour trying to scope out as much as they can of this chunk of the Chattahoochee River. And it's definitely drawn a lot of attention from a lot of concerned folks walking around this part of Uptown. We're actually here on 11th Street, and it's still kept a lot of people interested and concerned over the swimmer safety and see if they're able to find him either on this part of the river or somewhere downstream. Now, another update for our viewers, Barbara, we were able to confirm with officials with Whitewater Express that the person missing, this missing man, is neither an employee nor a customer of Whitewater Express. So we're told he was not on a raft or at any point using any sort of services or class with Whitewater Express. We're still waiting, trying to figure out the details of who the man was, how exactly he went missing and what he was doing this early afternoon leading up to his missing. But of course, we'll have much more for you, as well as the latest from officials here on the scene as they continue their search for this missing man. We're live here in Uptown Columbus. Jose Zozai for News Leader 9. Back to you.
All right, Jose, thank you. And News Leader 9 will continue to follow this breaking news on air and online at WTVM.com. Just click on the local tab. You'll also find a Facebook Live within the story on our website, or you can download our free WTVM mobile app to your smart devices. We'll, of course, continue to update this throughout this newscast this evening.
And time now to talk a little weather today. It's been a day with more clouds than sun, but overall a lot drier than the weather that we've experienced over the past few days. 82 right now in the Fountain City. Skies mostly sunny to partly cloudy. The dew point a bit lower. That means the air is getting drier, and that's a sign of some changes ahead for us. You'll notice the radar view tonight looking a lot different than yesterday. Many places absolutely dry, and that's how most should stay outside later tonight. As we check our temperatures, 82 again in Columbus, 80 for Auburn, Montgomery 85, Birmingham Birmingham 82, but where those clouds are a bit thicker down to our south, down to our east, Albany at 73. It's 72 in Valdosta and Macon at 76 degrees. A local view of temperatures again find most spots in the 80s. A bit further down to the south and east, you run into some of those 70s. And as we look ahead through the rest of the evening, we will stay on the warm side of things. But we'll talk about these changes as far as the drier air and lower rain chances coming up in a bit, Barb.
All right, Derek, thank you. Happening now, LaGrange police searching for a suspect responsible for a string of early morning burglaries, all within miles of each other. The first two burglaries happening on Lafayette Parkway, with the other two on Hamilton Road. And News Leader 9's Chandler Morgan joins us now from the Marathon gas station. And Chandler, I understand this station that you're at now is one of those that was hit by the suspected burglar pretty hard, right?
Barbara, that's right. Police say surveillance video captured from this gas station. It captured the suspect, who police say is the same suspect involved in a string of 4 different burglaries happening within just 2 hours from each other. And police say the suspect, he's still on the loose with a load of cash. You're watching surveillance video from the morning of June 5th. That's when LaGrange police say this suspect caught on camera burglarized 4 businesses within 2 hours. His first stop, Chick-fil-A on Lafayette Parkway, where police say around 5 a.m. the suspect pried through the drive-through window and stole $200 from the cash register. Police say the suspect then drove 1 mile down the road to Elite Nail Spa, capturing the burglar prying through the front glass doors of the business and stealing over $15,000 from the cash register. But the burglar didn't stop there.
Broken, yeah, everything is broken, the door. I think he come here.
Manager of the Marathon gas station on Hamilton Road, Ramesh Rukante, says police say his store was the next business hit, with security footage capturing the suspect stealing nearly $4,000 from the cash register and 8 cartons of cigarettes.
This here, I see 4.5 years. This is the first time.
Less than a mile down the road, the Exxon gas station also hit by who police say is the same suspect, this time stealing $800.
Before this happened, did you feel safe?
Yeah. Before, nothing, no problem. That's why no bulletproof glasses, nothing.
But now Rukante says he'll be getting iron bars installed on all the glass windows as an extra layer of safety. Now, luckily, no one was inside any of those businesses during the time of the burglaries, but that's over $20,000 worth of cash and property. So the LaGrange Police Department says that this suspect will be facing 4 counts of felony burglary charges. And anyone with information on the suspect is asked to call Troup County Crime Stoppers. And you can find that information on our website, WTVM.com. But for now, live in LaGrange, Chandler Morgan, WTVM News Leader 9.
All right, Chandler, thank you for the latest. And we've got the full video of the burglary at Chick-fil-A posted on our website, WTVM.com. Just go to the story you see here under the local tab. You can find the video and more details on where each burglary took place. Well, new details this evening. A person is dead following a 1-car crash on Highway 280 South. This happened in Lee County, Alabama. According to the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, the accident happened near Lee Road 249 before 9 this morning. The passenger was the person who died, and the driver suffered serious injuries. Well, part of the news that Washington was expecting tomorrow came today. Fired FBI Director James Comey's opening statement was released ahead of his testimony tomorrow on Capitol Hill. News Leader 9's Roslyn Giles joins us now from our newsroom with more on that statement. Lots of people waiting to hear what he has to say, right, Roz?
Absolutely, Barbara. In it, James Comey describes the conversations he had with President Donald Trump. Comey says Trump asked him privately to end any probe into former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn related to conversations with the Russian ambassador. Comey quotes Trump as saying, "I hope you can see your way clear to letting this go, to letting Flynn go." Comey's statement also describes 2 phone calls in which Trump urged him to publicly declare Trump was not personally under investigation. We will hear this and much more starting tomorrow morning when James Comey speaks before a Senate Intelligence Committee as they try to determine if any obstruction of justice was committed. Back to you.
All right, Rosalind, thank you. And as Comey prepares to testify, top U.S. intelligence officials were grilled by senators today about a Washington Post report. The report says President Trump tried to use the director of national intelligence, Dan Coats, to stop an FBI investigation into former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. Sources say the president asked Coats if he could get Comey to stop the probe. Coats said today he felt no pressure from the president.
detailed, as you know from reading the story, as to when you met, what you discussed, et cetera, and yet here in a public hearing before the American people, we can't talk about what was described in detail in this morning's Washington Post.
I've been around town long enough to say, not take everything at face value that's printed in the Post. I served on the committee here and often saw that information that we had been discussed had been reported, but that wasn't always accurate.
Well, Coates refused to say on record whether the president asked him to downplay investigations into possible collusion with Russia. As Comey gets ready to testify, President Trump has nominated a new FBI director and made the announcement on Twitter. He's nominating Christopher Wray. Wray previously served as Assistant Attorney General in charge of the Justice Department's Criminal Division. Before this, he was an Assistant U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Georgia. And ABC will live stream James Comey's testimony tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. George Stephanopoulos and Jonathan Karl will lead our network coverage. Be sure to watch World News Tonight after News Leader 9 at 6 for more coverage of today's hearings and a preview of tomorrow. Well, happening now, the Georgia Department of Insurance is cracking down on insurance fraud all across the state. The agency busted up what it called one of the largest insurance fraud rings in Georgia. Our Marla Spencer joins us now from the Muskogee County Jail, where suspects arrested in the ring are sitting in a cell.
Multiple agencies are continuing to make arrests in one of the largest auto insurance fraud rings in the state of Georgia. Many arrests were made as early as 6:30 this morning as police sought to arrest 26 accused suspects in Lumpkin, Richland, and Columbus for auto insurance fraud.
They reported over $500,000 worth of claims. Fortunately, only a little over 155,000, we're right at 156,000 of these claims were paid by 12 different insurance companies.
The fraud ring allegedly staged car accidents and filed 51 claims dating back to 2014.
They will buy a liability policy on an automobile. Generally, they'll back out of a driveway and run into another car, and so then they would contact their insurance company, and the insurance company would come. They'd never call the police or anything.
The Georgia Department of Insurance says all claims filed were linked to one another.
Whether it's by email address, telephone, the ownership of the vehicle. We've had the same vehicles involved in 7-8 claims.
All 26 suspects are facing a total of 326 charges ranging from insurance fraud, racketeering, and identity fraud. Once all accused suspects are booked into the Muskogee County Jail, they will then be prosecuted by the Muskogee County District Attorney's Office. The Director of Fraud Investigations for the state says this was a 16-month investigation. I'm Marla Spence reporting for WTVM News Leader 9.
And for a list of suspects wanted and those arrested, you can head over to our website, WTVM.com, and look under the local tab. Alabama prisons in turmoil with understaffing and violence. What's being done to try to solve this issue is straight ahead. And riding for a good cause today, why people are riding motorcycles across Alabama and Georgia.
And congratulations to Lori Stevens from Columbus for winning our WTVM and Energy Savers umbrella today. We'll have one more winner for you coming up on Friday, and perhaps the need to put away the umbrellas coming up in the forecast. Details right after the break.
And we are continuing to follow this breaking news out of the Chattahoochee River. Multiple agencies there along the river trying to rescue a missing man. According to witnesses, a rafter or snorkeler went under around 3 o'clock this afternoon, never came back up. The Riverwalk below the Synovus building all the way down near the area below the Dillingham Street Bridge is closed off. We'll have updates throughout this newscast.
Weather Storm Team 9 Alert Center. WTVM Chief Meteorologist Derek Kincaid.
We've been talking all week long about this transition to some drier air that's going to take place. Now, we're going to have one more chance for some rain out there Thursday, but the overall air mass starting to dry up a bit across the valley. In fact, the best rain coverage on Thursday looks to be over some of our East Alabama counties. But even here, not everybody is going to get wet. That's how this works this time of year. Remember, we very rarely see that soaking all across the area. Now, with Friday and the weekend in view, we have better weather to talk about. Highs back up there in the upper 80s, the lower 90s. In fact, we've got a really nice weekend coming up. Very summer-like for sure as far as those temperatures are concerned. Very small rain chance Sunday. I really think most spots will stay dry then, but next week, wet weather returns to the forecast. About a 30 to 50% rain coverage getting into next week, really Monday through next Friday, as you'll see in our extended forecast. Let's check out our temperatures today. We also have the heat index on here for you as well, what it feels like when you step outside. And with the mugginess that we've seen lately, yeah, the heat index number has been up there a bit, but today, not as bad as it has been lately with that drier air that is starting to move in across the valley. You can see that too on the radar view. There's just not a lot of rain to talk about. Things around here pretty quiet today. A few spotty showers over toward the Montgomery area, and that is about it. A lot of us this evening are going to stay dry. As we check the bigger picture view, you can still see where some of the heavier showers and clouds are hanging on south and east of the city of Columbus. So if you live in Eufaula, Americus, Albany, you've likely seen clouds through much of the day today, probably even a few showers as well. But for a lot of us, we're starting to see that influence of drier air coming in from the north and from the east. You can see that here. The shades of blue on our muggy meter indicate that dry air that's settling in, and that's really going to change the forecast up a bit by later on this week as we get the sunshine and some of those warmer temperatures back in here. So let's show you the future cast. We'll take you through tonight. Mostly dry conditions. Some clouds at times through the overnight hours, but as we get into Thursday, I think we'll see the sun peeking out at times. But notice where that rain is. The best chances over here across some of our East Alabama counties, but not a washout. Remember, it's not going to rain all day long. Then I think by Friday, overall, the weather looks a lot drier all across the valley with a mostly sunny sky building back in. So weather for tonight looking like this. Most spots will be in the 60s for lows. The overnight low temperatures will be cooling down a little bit as well here over the next little bit. 65 in Columbus, 64 down in Pittsview. We'll call for just a slight chance of a few additional showers tonight. Then for tomorrow, highs right back up there into the low and mid 80s. We'll see some sun and some clouds, but these numbers go up in a big way as we get set to end the week and head on into the weekend. As you'll see in our extended forecast here with our weekend in view, and we have that really hot weather to talk about, hotter weather to talk about by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but perhaps more wet weather building back in at times next week, Barbara.
Well, looking very toasty, though, for the weekend.
Yeah, and that's what June is all about around here. We tend to get those upper 80s and low 90s in here.
And even more so in July and
That's
August,
right.
in case folks don't know that.
Absolutely.
All right, Derek, thank you. Well, in Alabama, prisons are at times facing one correction officer responsible for watching 200 inmates at a time. The prison system is now dangerously understaffed as violence continues to rise. News Leader 9's Michael Doudna is in Montgomery with more on how this problem could get worse if nothing is done.
It's becoming a vicious cycle, with long hours and dangerous conditions causing more correction officers to stop working, creating even more dangerous conditions for those who are still there. It's a problem that's been around for years, as prison violence is now on the rise and there are simply less and less officers watching inmates. So some advocates and lawmakers are pushing to raise their salary and improve their benefits in the hopes of attracting more officers. But for DOC Commissioner Jeff Gunn, he says the key to keeping officers are the buildings that they work in.
We can work hard, and we will, to pay our correction officers more money. I believe they've earned it. I believe they deserve it. But the information and the data suggest that until we change the conditions in our facilities and where they work, we're not going to be able to impact that to the nature that we really need to.
Almost every group you talk to says that officers need to have better pay and benefits, and that new buildings will be needed at some point. They just disagree on what comes first and the scale of what those plans may be. Reporting from Montgomery, I'm Michael Doudna for WTVM News Leader 9.
Well, if you needed motivation to start exercising, today is the day. We'll tell you who's hosting a run through Uptown tonight as part of Global Running Day. Well, the Miracle Riders started their summer trip this morning to raise money for local children. Riders met today at Synovus, the building on Bay Avenue in Columbus. They're riding through Georgia and Alabama through the month of July, raising money for various charities, and will return in August. Scott Ressmeyer, the founder of Miracle Riders, says he's happy to see Synovus is partnering for this great cause.
Today we're here really pleased actually just to announce that Synovus has agreed to be our presenting sponsor for the Miracle Ride to the Arctic Circle. This is a venture that's going to try to change the lives of some kids right here at the Methodist Youth Homes, the Arabella House and the Carpenter's Way Ranch.
And this is the ride, or the version of a ride, that has been taking place in the valley for several years now. Well, go ahead and pick up some ice cream on your drive home from work, because today is National Chocolate Ice Cream Day. One of the places you can go to pick it up is at Kilwins in Uptown Columbus, Brewster's, Dairy Queen, also Baskin-Robbins, of course. Chocolate ice cream is the second most common flavor, surpassed only by vanilla. The chocolate flavored ice cream has been in existence well over 100 years and has been popular in the United States since the late 19th century. And if you need a way to work off the pounds from the ice cream, today is Global Running Day. So what should you do to mark the occasion? Well, try going to Big Dog Running Company in Uptown Columbus. They'll be hosting a run at 6 tonight, starting at 1200 Broadway. Afterwards, Iron Bank Coffee is offering $2 beers for those who participated. While you're there, you can also register for the Soldier Marathon and Half Marathon. Global Running Day is marked by people all around the world showing passion for running. Meanwhile, a Tennessee student is showing what she knows about business and getting acceptance into big universities. Carolina Williams wrote an award-winning essay about pizza and got accepted into Yale. She instead has chosen to go to Auburn University to study business. This is according to the website. Williams scored a 34 on her ACT. Part of it was because of the essay about her love of ordering pizza, she says. She literally loves pizza and wrote about it thinking it would stand out. And of course, it did. The story made it on Good Morning America. Very smart. That is going to do it for us tonight at 5. We're back with more late-breaking headlines in just a couple of minutes. The news at 5:30 is next. We've been following, though, this breaking news for you tonight. Multiple agencies along the river trying to rescue a man. According to witnesses, a rafter or snorkeler went under around 3 o'clock this afternoon, never came back up. There are crews there searching for this man. We have much more on this coming up for you on the news at 5:30.